Hey, it's Rafael Cintron here from Ljubljana in Slovenia, and I'm going to talk about today about citizenship by birth, how to give your kids a better chance to be successful, to be a global citizen by having them in countries that allow them to become citizens of those countries, or mainly if you have, let's say, a really bad passport, how to migrate somewhere, have your kids there, and have them have a really good passport. So let's divide, first up, the two regions, or let's say there's multiple regions, but the two sides of the world when it comes to citizenship by birth and birth tourism. First up, we have the Americas. North America, Central America, the Caribbean, and South America. And then we have pretty much the rest of the world, apart from about 2 or 3 countries. The Americas allow citizenship by birth with no conditions. Apart from, I think, Chile and Colombia, they have very relaxed but also strict rules about who gets citizenship when they are born in that country. For example, in Chile, the parents need to be residents of Chile, actual, residence card holders, or maybe you're studying there, or maybe you have a job there, whatever it is, or running a business in Chile, you put some money in a bank account, got a residence permit in Chile, and you're actually living there, and then your kids are born there after a year or so, then the child is born a Chilean citizenship. They probably do this because their passport is so good. It's really one of the best passports in the world, and you will need to go through that process of becoming a resident and then having the child be a citizen of Chile. Apart from those two and some other minor restrictions in other countries, pretty much if you go to any country in the Americas, let's say Brazil, and you have your children in Brazil, or Canada, and you have your children in Canada, those children born in Canada, and obviously you need to register them as born there and wanting to apply for citizenship, they will probably grant it, accepting a few maybe nationalities or situations where the mom traveled 2 weeks before she got the baby and she traveled to Canada and had the baby there. That might be questioned and challenged, but you can pretty much get citizenship by birth in any of those countries. Now with this whole situation around the world, it's probably going to get a lot better, or maybe when you're watching this video, travel restrictions have opened up very easily. You can basically plan a couple of months in advance. When your wife, or you, if you're a woman watching this, when you're pregnant, you can go to one of those countries, get a citizenship. Let's say in Brazil, there's a really good hospital in Brazil called the Albert Einstein Hospital in Sao Paulo. And that particular hospital is pretty much the best in the Americas. You can have your child there. They have really good reviews. A lot of Westerners go there to have their children, and you can get that child a Brazilian passport, and then you could add it on to whatever other passports you have. Maybe you have a passport from a country that is not that good with travel privileges, or maybe you want your child to have another passport than the US passport, for example, so that they can renounce the US passport later to not pay taxes, not file all these forms that you need to with the US. You can give them that opportunity of having a citizenship by birth. You can also do it in the Caribbean. The one that I actually bought, the citizenship by investment from St. Kitts, they also give citizenship by birth. And it is much easier, for example, to get a visa to the United States or Canada or anywhere you want to go that is not in the visa-free travel of St. Kitts. It is much easier for a person born in St. Kitts citizenship to get a visa for one of these countries, as opposed to somebody that just bought the passport and actually went through the citizenship by investment. It's much easier for people that are born there. In all the other sides of the world, it is very hard to get citizenship by birth unless one of the parents is a citizen of that country. For example, here in Slovenia, I was checking up the law, and it's pretty hard to have a child in Slovenia become a Slovenian citizen if 1 or 2 of the parents are not Slovenian. If they've been living in Slovenia for years and Slovenia is their main home and the child lives here for a couple of years after they're born, then obviously they can get citizenship, but it is tougher than, let's say, in the Americas, where they just let anybody go there, have the child there, and then become a citizen of that country. There's other countries like Portugal, for example, which I'm in the process of actually giving my children, or I'm not going to have children yet, but when I do, I want to give them the Portuguese citizenship, because they recently changed the law where it's not outright birthright citizenship, you can't just go to Portugal and have a child there. They'll become Portuguese, but only with 1 year of residence in Portugal, your children will be Portuguese. So let's say that you and your wife or your husband or whoever you're with, you want to go to Portugal and have your child be a European citizen, Portuguese citizen. All you have to do is apply for a residence permit, live there 1 year, and then have your child. And if you're a high net worth individual or somebody that makes a lot of money, like me, I want to go through the golden visa process. You don't even need to live in Portugal. You could go through the golden visa, have the golden visa residence card, wait 1 year, spend 7 days in the country, which is the minimum requirement for the golden visa, have your children in Portugal, and your children will be Portuguese, as well as any other nationalities that you might have. Obviously, pretty much all countries in the world can get citizenship from your parents, and some countries, if the child is born abroad to a citizen of that country, for example in Slovenia, if there is one parent of the child that is Slovenian and one parent is not Slovenian and the child is born abroad, the parents need to register that birth with the Slovenian government in order for that child to become a Slovenian citizen. So it can get extremely complicated. So if you have a good passport and you want to pass it on to your kids, make sure to read the law of your citizenship country, and you want to definitely give it to your children if you have a good passport for that. So if you want to go to the Americas, have a child there, you can definitely do that. Give them the great citizenship. And if you want to go for a much higher tier citizenship, you could go to Portugal, get a golden visa, have your children there in really good hospitals, really well taken care of. And obviously you want to stay in the same place after having a child. For example, my wife told me we need to stay minimum 6 months to a year after we have a baby in the same exact place, even though I love moving around. Basically, Portugal is a great country to do that. They have amazing beaches. You can relax at the beach. After having your baby, you can have nice quality of life. You're not going to a dump and basically giving birth there, and a bad country with a relatively good passport, giving birth there and then just going back to your country. No, you're doing it the right way. Maybe a golden visa, maybe a self-entrepreneur visa, and you're living in Portugal a couple of months after you give birth. The child will be a citizen. Many other countries have much more complicated solutions. For example, you need to live there 5 years, or you need to be a permanent resident, or if you both are not from that country, you're not citizens of, for example, a European country, you need to live there, you need to both be permanent residents, you both need to live there for 5 years. The child needs to learn the language. I have one friend from Serbia. He's trying to get Hungarian citizenship from his grandpa, and he actually needs to learn Hungarian in order to become Hungarian. He needs to learn the Hungarian language. So in some cases, you do need to learn the language. Your kids will need to learn the language in order to become a citizen of that country that they want to be a citizen of. So that's definitely all in a nutshell. You want to give citizenship by birth, go to the Americas. You want to play on a very good passport and actually do it the right way. You could go to Portugal, live there 1 year, have your child there, or just do the golden visa. In other countries, you will need to live there for a long period of time, except for a few African countries, which are not obviously good passports. You probably don't want to have a child there. So that's it. If you want help with this topic, I've actually done a lot of research with my wife into this. We want to give our child an amazing citizenship, multiple citizenships. If you want help with this, make sure to click that first link in the description. Let's talk together. Let's see how I can help you lower your taxes, get a second citizenship, and improve your and your family's lives. Subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell and that like button down below, and watch the other videos here. I will see you on the next one.